Today I'm wasting no time, and I'm immediately getting into fixing my Png-Tuber. So this video is shorter than the videos I plan on making in the long run because it's just kind of something I've been needing to do rather than something I strictly wanted to make a video on. As you can see, I'm working on creating a new Png-Tuber for myself. All I really needed to do was redraw assets and make them more fun, more interesting, and more appealing. So I'm doing things like making each expression change more seamlessly and having more basic expressions to contrast with the exaggerated ones. I did have a Png-Tuber before this, hence the name of this video, but that Png-Tuber was botched as hell and I'm never using that shit again. Luckily, now I finally know what I'm doing with this whole YouTube stuff and I can finally make the assets for the type of videos I want to create. Right now you're seeing me working on the base emotion and angles for my Png-Tuber. These are basic general emotions that can match most things tonally and are pretty simple to have at each angle. On top of this, each expression and base emotion will have an open and closed mouth variant. Base expressions are also going to be used for when I go from a basic pose to a more exaggerated pose. I also predetermined which exaggerated motion would be at which angle. For example, the disgust sprite is only possible when I go down angle. This practically just means I don't have to do more drawing for having every emotion at every angle. And then all I need to do is my wobble frames. What are wobble frames? To add more interest to the avatar, I decided to make it so I'm built like an Ed, and Eddie character. Constant shaking outlines to make up for the fact that I'm literally just an average looking person. Wait, how many PNGs do I already have?
31.
Holy shit, I am not doing a wobble frame though. I don't think I'm gonna be doing the wobble thing anymore. This is a lot of detail that would probably go unnoticed anyway, so. Adding colors. Ah! I might actually hate coloring. It always ends up being very repetitive and time consuming with things like this. I hate it so much that I was considering just not shading it, but then I decided in the long run shading would probably be the best since I'm already not adding the wobble effect, so. The way I went about coloring and shading is that I copied and pasted the original base emotion colors and shade, and then just put it on the new pose and did my best to clean it up. This actually turned out pretty good, and I'm glad I did this instead of meticulously coloring everything, because that would have driven me insane. Also, that is what I did with my last Png-Tuber, so glad I'm not doing that again. Even though this made it less time consuming, it was still very boring. I don't like repetitive art making. I like making new things every time. But with the plans I have for the future and the fact that I want to be an animator, I'm just gonna have to get used to it. Once I finished coloring and shading, I was left with 62 character sprites. If I had done the wobble thing, that would be like ×3 and I would have 186 separate sprites. I'm suddenly very glad I decided not to do that. Now that I'm done with my Png-Tuber, all I need to do is make my physical Png-Tuber. What do I mean by physical Png-Tuber? Well, I'm printing out some of the open mouth versions of my Png-Tuber and cutting them out and putting them on toothpicks so that my everything else channel can have a physical variation. I wanted to separate the editing styles I have for both channels, so I decided to make one like all practical effects and then one all digital art, just kind of to have my everything else channel stand out a little more. This wasn't the plan from the start, but I actually really like this idea, so I'm just gonna go on with it. I think it'll be very fun. But with all that said, I have finally finished my Png-Tuber. Now I can make all the content I want without having to redraw my stupid PNG guy every video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to see more Epic Gamer Sigma content.